North Korea, often described as the most secretive and isolated country in the world, faces intense international sanctions and extreme economic restrictions. With limited access to global markets and minimal legal trade, the regime in Pyongyang has developed a shadow economy that spans continents and sectors. Despite being economically cut off, North Korea is able to finance nuclear weapons programs, maintain one of the world's largest standing armies, and sustain a repressive regime. But how? The answer lies in its deeply embedded reliance on illicit revenue streams. From trafficking drugs and counterfeiting currency to launching sophisticated cyber attacks and orchestrating bank heists, North Korea has constructed a vast underground empire to funnel billions of dollars into the hands of the ruling elite. Counterfeiting is an illegal industry in which North Korea has long excelled. The country's counterfeit $100 bills, known as super notes, are so technically advanced that they have confounded even trained professionals. These bills are believed to be printed using high-quality intaglio presses, the same used by the U.S. Treasury, and mimic nearly every security feature of the genuine article. Investigations by American and South Korean intelligence have repeatedly pointed to North Korea's own state minting facilities and intelligence services, particularly the Reconnaissance General Bureau, as the masterminds behind this forgery operation. Supernotes were circulated through black markets, casinos, and rogue financial institutions and often laundered via complicit third-party actors. In addition to fake currency, North Korea has also been linked to counterfeit consumer goods, cigarettes, and even pharmaceuticals. These products, distributed in developing countries and poorly regulated regions, further supplement the regime's income through a steady flow of black market sales. Similarly, North Korea has been repeatedly accused of producing counterfeit foreign passports, particularly from countries with strong global access, such as Japan, Brazil, and various EU nations to facilitate covert operations and illicit trade. North Korean agents have used fake or fraudulently obtained passports to conduct arms deals, smuggle goods, and travel undetected across international borders, often under assumed identities, to avoid sanctions or scrutiny. In several high-profile cases, North Korean operatives involved in assassination attempts or arms smuggling were found carrying counterfeit or altered passports, enabling them to bypass immigration controls in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Intelligence agencies have documented that Pyongyang's diplomatic and intelligence networks actively procure stolen or forged passports, which are then modified and used by spies, smugglers, or hackers posing as foreign nationals. One of the most notorious examples was the 2017 assassination of Kim Jong-nam, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's half-brother, whose alleged killers were believed to have used fake travel documents and whose North Korean minders traveled on forged passports from multiple countries. One of the most long-standing pillars of North Korea's illegal economy is drug trafficking, particularly involving methamphetamine. Reports dating back to the 1990s show that meth production in North Korea was initially managed by the state, with labs operated under direct supervision of the government or military entities. At first, these drugs were used as trade tools or gifts to elites, but as international sanctions tightened the regime, industrialized production, and began exporting meth to China, Southeast Asia, and beyond. Diplomatic channels, which are shielded from customs inspections, were exploited to smuggle drugs under the cover of official delegations. In 2003, Australian authorities intercepted the Pong-su, a North Korean ship carrying 125 kilograms of heroin, a case that provided rare public insight into the extent of Pyongyang's narcotics operations. The trade has become a survival mechanism for the regime, bringing in millions through covert transactions while inflicting widespread harm far beyond its borders. In the absence of legitimate economic activity, drugs have become a weaponized commodity, used by North Korea not just for profit, but as a strategic tool of asymmetric power. The most lucrative and globally disruptive of North Korea's illegal operations is its growing cybercrime apparatus. Over the past decade, North Korea has transformed itself into a formidable cyber power, developing state-sponsored hacking units capable of executing high-level digital heists. The most well-known of these is the Lazarus Group, a cybercrime collective believed to operate under the Reconnaissance General Bureau. Despite the country's poor domestic internet infrastructure, North Korea has cultivated a cadre of elite programmers and hackers, many of whom are trained abroad, particularly in China and Russia, before being deployed to operate remotely across the globe. The 2016 Bangladesh bank heist is perhaps the most infamous example of North Korea's cyber exploits. Hackers infiltrated the bank's systems and attempted to steal nearly $1 billion by manipulating the SWIFT international payments network. While most of the transfers were halted, approximately $81 million was successfully laundered through casinos in the Philippines. The sophistication of the attack, spanning months of reconnaissance, custom malware deployment, and exploitation of loopholes in the global financial system, was a wake-up call for international cybersecurity experts. This was not an isolated event. North Korean hackers have carried out numerous similar heists, targeting financial institutions in Vietnam, Chile, India, Mexico, and Africa. In 2018, hackers breached Banco de Chile, siphoning $10 million through fraudulent SWIFT transactions. In 2020, the U.S. Justice Department charged North Korean nationals with stealing over $1.3 billion in a campaign of cyber-enabled bank fraud and theft. These operations often combine traditional hacking techniques with insider threats and social engineering tactics, demonstrating an advanced understanding of both human and technological vulnerabilities. As part of that crackdown, the FBI issued wanted posters and arrest warrants for multiple North Korean hackers, publicly identifying individuals believed to be key members of the Lazarus Group. These include Park Jin-hyuk, a programmer charged in connection with the WannaCry ransomware attack, the Bangladesh bank heist, and the Sony Pictures hack. The FBI has described these hackers as global threats who carry out their crimes not for personal gain, but under the direction of the North Korean state. Despite these legal actions, North Korea continues to operate its cyber units with impunity, exploiting the borderless nature of the internet to target victims worldwide. In addition to traditional banking targets, North Korea has increasingly focused on the cryptocurrency sector as a new frontier for illegal revenue. Since 2017, the regime is estimated to have stolen over $3 billion in digital assets. In 2022 alone, it was responsible for nearly $1.7 billion in crypto-related theft, according to blockchain research firm Chainalysis. These attacks typically involve social engineering, phishing scams, and malware deployment to infiltrate wallets and exchanges. One of the largest and most high-profile examples was the 2022 breach of the Ronin network, a blockchain used by the game Axie Infinity. North Korean hackers stole over $600 million worth of Ethereum and USDC, marking one of the biggest crypto heists in history. Once assets are stolen, they are laundered through crypto mixers, privacy coins like Monero, and unregulated exchanges in jurisdictions with weak oversight. Cryptocurrency offers Pyongyang a perfect tool: anonymous, fast-moving, and largely outside the reach of traditional financial institutions. This new digital battlefield has given North Korea an edge that sanctions alone struggle to neutralize. Beyond theft, North Korea's cyber capabilities also extend into ransomware and destructive malware. The 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack, which affected over 200,000 systems in more than 150 countries, was ultimately linked to the Lazarus Group. Though it only earned modest financial gains, the attack was a stark demonstration of North Korea's ability to cause global disruption. WannaCry targeted hospitals, telecom companies, and transportation networks, encrypting files and demanding payment in Bitcoin. Its rapid spread revealed the risks of outdated infrastructure worldwide and showed how state-sponsored malware could cause chaos on a massive scale. Other malware campaigns traced to North Korean actors have targeted defense contractors, news organizations, and even COVID research institutions. Outside the digital realm, North Korea has long relied on the sale of weapons to earn illicit revenue. Despite international arms embargoes, the regime has sold small arms missile components and even chemical weapons-related materials to rogue states and insurgent groups. Countries such as Syria, Iran, and various African regimes have been named in UN reports for receiving arms shipments from Pyongyang. To avoid detection, these deals are conducted through layers of intermediaries and front companies. Maritime tactics such as ship-to-ship transfers, forged manifests, and GPS spoofing help conceal the origin and destination of illegal cargo. While these operations are riskier than cybercrime, they still contribute significant income to North Korea's war chest. Another disturbing source of revenue for the North Korean state comes from forced labor. Tens of thousands of North Koreans have been sent abroad to work under surveillance in construction sites, logging camps, factories, and shipyards in countries like Russia, China, the UAE, and Poland. The workers live in harsh conditions, and the majority of their wages, often exceeding $1,000 per month, are seized by government agents. Despite a 2017 UN resolution banning the practice, many workers remain overseas, often using fake paperwork or operating under informal arrangements. Some estimates suggest forced labor brought in between $500 million and $2 billion annually before the ban. These funds are channeled through foreign bank accounts controlled by North Korean embassies and companies bypassing sanctions and contributing to the regime's illicit finances. Even North Korea's embassies are implicated in illegal fundraising. Diplomats have been caught smuggling gold, ivory, counterfeit goods, and narcotics, often taking advantage of diplomatic immunity to avoid inspections. Embassies have also functioned as fronts for businesses selling luxury items like alcohol, often illegally in host countries. The profits from these operations are funneled directly to Pyongyang, supporting the regime's inner circle. In countries with minimal oversight, embassies rent out space for profit, operate unregistered enterprises, and serve as hubs for espionage and money laundering. These diplomatic outposts are not just symbols of North Korean diplomacy. They are extensions of its underground economy. North Korea's ability to survive despite global isolation is not a mystery. It is a calculated strategy built on illicit finance. The regime's vast network of criminal activities, from drug deals and fake currency to cyber theft and forced labor, enables it to bypass sanctions and continue its nuclear ambitions. As enforcement measures evolve, so too does Pyongyang's playbook. The shadow economy that sustains North Korea is not only a threat to global security, but a chilling example of how a pariah state can manipulate the vulnerabilities of the global system to its advantage.